A nation divided, the bump stock debate reignited. The Supreme Court's recent decision to overturn the bump stock ban has reignited a fiery debate across the nation. In 2017, the Congress enacted this ban following the horrific Las Vegas shooting, where a bump stock was used with devastating effect. This decision marked a significant shift in federal gun policy, aiming to curb the use of devices that could simulate automatic fire. Now, the highest court in the land has reversed this ban, sparking both celebration and outrage from opposing sides of the gun control debate. This ruling has far-reaching implications for gun rights, public safety, and the interpretation of the Second Amendment. Join us as we delve into the complex legal arguments, the emotional weight of the Las Vegas tragedy, and the diverse perspectives shaping this crucial national conversation. Inside the Supreme Court's ruling, a shift in legal landscape. The Supreme Court, in a 6-3 decision, ruled that the ban on bump stocks exceeded the authority granted to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives under existing federal law. This decision has sparked a nationwide debate on the limits of regulatory power and the interpretation of firearm laws. The majority opinion, written by Justice Clarence Thomas, argued that the ATF's interpretation of the law defining machine guns was overly broad. He emphasized that the agency had overstepped its boundaries by classifying bump stocks as machine guns without clear legislative backing. The court found that bump stocks, while increasing firing speed, did not fundamentally alter the mechanics of a semi-automatic rifle to fire automatically. This technical distinction was pivotal in the court's analysis, as it determined the legal classification of bump stocks. This distinction proved crucial in the court's reasoning, as it hinged on the specific language of the National Firearms Act and its definition of prohibited firearms. The Act's precise wording played a significant role in shaping the court's decision. The dissenting justices, led by Justice Stephen Breyer, argued that the majority opinion disregarded the ATF's expertise and undermined the government's ability to address evolving threats to public safety. They contended that the ruling could hinder future regulatory efforts. This landmark decision has significantly altered the legal landscape surrounding gun control measures, raising questions about the future of regulations aimed at restricting access to certain types of firearms and accessories. The ruling has prompted discussions on how best to balance individual rights with public safety concerns in an ever-evolving legal environment. At the heart of this legal battle lies a seemingly innocuous device, the bump stock. This firearm accessory, often made of plastic or metal, replaces a rifle's standard stock and uses the recoil energy to increase the rate of fire. By harnessing the backward motion of the gun after each shot, the bump stock facilitates a rapid bumping action against the trigger finger, allowing for a much faster firing rate. While not technically converting a semi-automatic firearm into a fully automatic one, bump stocks enable a rate of fire that closely mimics automatic weapons. This characteristic has fueled intense debate, with gun rights advocates arguing that bump stocks fall outside the legal definition of machine guns, while gun control proponents emphasize the potential for these devices to inflict mass casualties in a short period. Let's step back in time to the reason bump stocks were outlawed to begin with. It's a very interesting story. The 2017 Las Vegas shooting, also known as the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting, was perpetrated by Stephen Paddock on the night of October 1, 2017. Here are the detailed events and associated questions surrounding the incident. Stephen Paddock, a 64-year-old man from Mesquite, Nevada, carried out the attack. He was a retired accountant and a high-stakes gambler with no significant criminal history. Paddock opened fire from his suite on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino onto the crowd attending the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival on the Las Vegas Strip below. Paddock had a large arsenal of firearms, including 23 guns found in his hotel suite. These included AR-15-style rifles, some of which were equipped with bump stocks to enable rapid firing similar to automatic weapons. He also had a large quantity of ammunition and high-capacity magazines. Paddock checked into the hotel on September 25, 2017, and stayed in a suite consisting of 2 adjoining rooms. Over several days, he brought numerous suitcases into his rooms, presumably carrying the firearms and ammunition. On the night of October 1st, Paddock began shooting at 10:05 p.m., firing more than 1,000 rounds over a period of about 10 minutes. He broke the windows of his suite to create clear sightlines to the concert area below. The attack resulted in 60 fatalities, including Paddock, and hundreds of injuries. The shooting prompted a massive but slow response from law enforcement. 1 hour and 20 minutes after the shooting began, police breached Paddock's suite at 11:20 p.m., where they found him dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Paddock used multiple suitcases to transport his arsenal to his suite. The exact number of trips he made to bring the weapons up is unclear, but it is known that he used a service elevator, which might have reduced suspicion. Coincidentally, there were several broken cameras around Paddock's suite at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino during the 2017 Las Vegas shooting, which allowed Paddock to move about undetected. Stephen Paddock had set up multiple surveillance cameras inside and outside his hotel suite. He installed 2 cameras on the hallway outside his room and 1 inside the room to monitor the approach of law enforcement. So basically, he had more security than the hotel. By booking 2 adjoining rooms, Paddock could set up multiple firing positions, giving him a wider range of targets. As with so many of these mass shootings, a motive was never found and the shooter killed himself. The FBI was involved in the investigation. He had no known affiliations with terrorist groups, and no manifesto or clear statement was found. The use of bump stocks in this shooting brought attention to the devices, leading to their eventual ban in the United States. The incident raised questions about the regulation of such devices that can convert semi-automatic firearms to fire at near-automatic rates. The specter of the 2017 Las Vegas shooting loomed large over the Supreme Court's decision, casting a shadow that would influence future rulings and legislative actions. This horrific event, where a gunman used bump stocks to kill 58 people and injure hundreds more, became a tragic turning point in the national conversation about gun control. The use of bump stocks, which effectively turned semi-automatic rifles into fully automatic weapons, highlighted the need for responsible gun ownership. The Las Vegas shooting of 2017, which has been deemed the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history, was the perfect backdrop to enact gun legislation such as the bump stock law. I think it's important that we address the circumstances surrounding the bump stock law that was just overturned by the Supreme Court. I have noticed that the mainstream media is now attempting to blame the failed law on Trump and his administration, but always look further. I recall the narrative when the law was enacted as being a bipartisan bill. Well, I checked. The bill was co-sponsored by 7 representatives. 6 of them were Democrats and 1 was a Republican representative from Michigan. Also, it should be noted that the Democrats had the House majority at the time and passed the law. Trump had nothing to do with it. In the spirit of cooperation, Trump allowed the process to play out and did not veto the bill. The shooter's use of bump stocks, which allowed him to fire hundreds of rounds per minute, brought these devices into sharp focus, leading to the subsequent ban. This ban was seen as a necessary step to curb the potential for future mass shootings. So that's how the ban came to be. It was the Democratic House, not Trump. So it's well established that the hotel where this shooting occurred did not have adequate security. There were broken cameras, just like at the jail where Jeffrey Epstein allegedly killed himself. Paddock had no history of violence and no motive, just like the Aurora, Colorado shooter. He also allegedly shot himself after the massacre, just like Columbine shooters and the Sandy Hook shooter. There's a lot more questionable events, but let's look at one very big issue that often gets lost in the shuffle. The Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino is owned by MGM Resorts International. Follow me down the rabbit hole just a little deeper and you will find that the 2 top institutional shareholders of MGM Resorts are BlackRock Inc. and Vanguard Group Inc. The top shareholder of BlackRock is Vanguard Group Inc., so Vanguard basically owns the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. Both have faced fines and regulatory actions in the past and are the 2 biggest asset management firms in the world. The Vegas shooter carried suitcases of weapons. The Supreme Court's decision has also reverberated through the financial world, prompting reactions from major investment firms like Vanguard and BlackRock. These firms, known for their passive investment strategies and significant holdings in gun manufacturers, have faced increasing pressure from investors and the public to address the issue of gun violence. Vanguard, the world's largest provider of mutual funds, has been relatively quiet on the bump stock ruling, but it should be known that they are the largest shareholder in right-wing media conglomerate Fox News Corp. Also, its founder, Axel Springer, is known as the Rupert Murdoch of German media. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, has taken a more vocal stance, engaging in dialogue with gun manufacturers and advocating for responsible gun ownership. While neither firm has announced plans to divest from gun manufacturers, the bump stock ruling adds another layer of complexity to their investment strategies as they navigate the delicate balance between financial performance and social responsibility. The Supreme Court's decision has sent shockwaves across the nation, eliciting a wide range of reactions from both sides of the political spectrum. Gun rights advocates hailed the ruling as a victory for the Second Amendment, arguing that the bump stock ban was an overreach of government authority and a violation of their constitutional rights. Gun control advocates expressed outrage and disappointment, fearing that the decision would lead to increased gun violence and make it more difficult to enact meaningful gun safety measures in the future. The ruling has further deepened the existing political divides on gun control, highlighting the passionate beliefs and deeply held values at stake in this ongoing debate. At the core of the bump stock debate lies the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution, which guarantees the right to bear arms. The Supreme Court's decision has reignited the ongoing debate over the scope and limitations of this right, with differing interpretations fueling passionate arguments on both sides. Gun rights advocates argue that the Second Amendment protects an individual's right to own firearms for self-defense and other lawful purposes, and that any restrictions on this right are unconstitutional. Gun control advocates, on the other hand, emphasize the amendment's reference to a well-regulated militia, arguing that the right to bear arms is not unlimited and that reasonable restrictions are necessary to ensure public safety. The Supreme Court's overturning of the bump stock ban has cast a long shadow over the future of gun control in the United States. The decision will likely embolden gun rights groups to challenge existing gun laws and make it more difficult for lawmakers to pass new regulations. The ruling underscores the deep political divisions surrounding gun control, making it unlikely that Congress will find common ground on this highly contentious issue. The debate is likely to continue playing out in courtrooms and state legislatures across the country as both sides seek to advance their respective agendas. In the wake of the Supreme Court's decision, it is more important than ever for Americans to engage in respectful and constructive dialogue about gun control. Finding common ground in a polarized debate can be challenging, but it is essential for our democracy to function effectively. We must move beyond the rhetoric and engage in meaningful conversations about how to balance the rights of gun owners with the need to protect public safety. This will require listening to opposing viewpoints, seeking common ground, and working together to find solutions that address the complex challenges posed by gun violence. The Supreme Court's decision, regardless of one's personal stance on bump stocks, serves as a powerful reminder of the enduring legacy of the United States Constitution. This decision underscores the critical role the judiciary plays in interpreting and upholding the principles laid out by our founding fathers. This landmark document, crafted centuries ago, continues to shape the legal landscape and safeguard the freedoms we hold dear. Its relevance persists through the ages, guiding our nation through times of change and challenge. The ongoing debate surrounding the Second Amendment reflects the dynamism of our democracy, where differing interpretations of constitutional rights are fiercely debated and ultimately decided by the highest court in the land. These debates are a testament to the living nature of our Constitution, which adapts to the evolving values and needs of our society. As we navigate the complexities of gun control and other pressing issues, let us remember the importance of upholding the Constitution and engaging in respectful dialogue to find solutions that protect both individual liberties and the well-being of our nation. Civil discourse and informed debate are essential in crafting policies that reflect the diverse perspectives of our citizens. Thank you for taking the time to explore this critical issue with me. Your engagement in these discussions is vital for the health of our democracy. Let us continue to strive for a safer and more just society while cherishing and protecting the freedoms enshrined in our Constitution. Together, we can ensure that the principles of justice, liberty, and equality remain at the heart of our national identity.